Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my current N64 collection. So continue here, we have Jet Force Gemini. So Jet Force Gemini is a third-person shooter published and developed by Rare in 1999. You play as part of an intergalactic law enforcement team to eventually stop the evil Mizar. Along the way you have to save what are called tribals, and you have to save every single one of them before you can continue, and it's an absolute pain in the ass. But the game is awesome. So up next we have GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, both developed and published by Rare. GoldenEye here, released in 1997, it's a first person shooter, and this follows the 1995 movie GoldenEye. Basically in this you're out to stop a group of criminals from using a satellite against London to cause a global financial meltdown, and GoldenEye's multiplayer as well, with that classic split screen, it's just absolutely fantastic. And here we have Perfect Dark, released in 2000. This is a first person shooter, and this is considered a spiritual successor to GoldenEye. This is set in the year 2023, and it's the first game of the Perfect Dark series where you play as Joanna Dark, who's stuck between two warring alien factions. And similar to GoldenEye, the multiplayer for this is fantastic. It has that classic split screen. 4 players again can battle each other with 8 bots also on the map. And here we have Resident Evil 2. This was released in the year 2000. This is a survival horror game developed and published by Capcom, and this is a re-release of 1998's Resident Evil 2 that was originally released on the PlayStation 1. And this game is considered a marvel of technology. The fact that they managed to fit the whole of Resident Evil 2 on a 64 megabit N64 cartridge just talks volumes for the development team. The team was made up of 10 people, one who was part-time over the course of 12 months at a budget of $1 million. Angel Studios, who developed the game, later went on to form Rockstar San Diego. Resident Evil 2 and the N64 had a few unique properties. This included an item randomizer, so this randomized where items were in the game, also enemies, notes, general key items. And for the fact this was specific to the N64 release, again, it's just marvellous how they managed to fit the whole game plus extra things on such a small cartridge. That extra 4 megabits of RAM really kind of polished off just some of the in-game graphics. The FMVs themselves had to be reduced to make space, and you can kind of see that in some of the videos, but overall still absolutely fantastic how they managed to fit all that game into such a small cartridge. A few of the games up here are Lilac Wars, Knife Edge and Hybrid Heaven. Hybrid Heaven here I feel like needs to be specially mentioned because although it was fairly well received, I think it did kind of slip under the radar quite a bit, and this game I thought was absolutely awesome. So developed by Konami in 1999, it's predominantly a third-person game with that kind of over-the-shoulder view. When you do get into combat though, it turns into like a more turn-based scenario where you're fighting these things called bioweapons, and once you're engaged in a fight, that's it. There's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to hide, you just have to get on with it. This game really brings out the conspiracy theorist in me. It's based on aliens making these kind of alien hybrid clones, like high-ranking officials, and replacing them, with the end goal being to replace the president. You do just get kind of deeper and deeper into this game. It's just an absolute rabbit hole, but it's absolutely fantastic, and it's such a long game as well. And here we have Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron and Battle for Naboo, but here I'm going to talk about Shadows of the Empire. So Shadows of the Empire was released in 1996. It was developed and published by LucasArts. It's primarily a third-person shooter, but there are vehicular battles in it, like you can see here, the famous Battle of Hoth. This just controls absolutely fantastically. I remember seeing this game when I was first playing N64 and I wanted it forever, but never got around to getting it. This was a game I later purchased, and I'm glad I waited because it's absolutely fantastic. And here we also have Quake 2, Turok 2 and Turok Rage Wars. And here we have WWF Warzone, Attitude and No Mercy. No Mercy is going to be the one I'm going to talk about right now. So No Mercy was released in 2000 by THQ, and this is a professional wrestling game. This is one of the few sports games I would have played along with the Tony Hawk series. I remember this coming out in December in the year 2000 and me going out to look for it after Christmas to try and spend my Christmas money, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I was absolutely gutted. On the bright side, I did get Jet Force Gemini instead, which again is an absolutely fantastic game. This game features an absolutely fantastic single player campaign, as well as loads of different various match types. You have ladder matches, cage matches and Royal Rumble. You also guest refs. There were run-ins by other wrestlers, and you could fight backstage as well. Wrestlers would enter with their abbreviated entrance music and Titantron video, so it was kind of clipped down just to save on memory. And each wrestler kind of had like a unique characteristic when they came out, so Stone Cold kind of had that walk, Kurt Angle had that kind of twirl, and it just really helped like kind of submerge yourself in the WWF universe. I'd say this is easily my favourite wrestling game of all time. Attitude, you know, Warzone's classic, and WrestleMania 2000 are all fantastic, but there's just something in this game has that's just absolutely charming. It's just absolutely fantastic. Although it might not have been the best looking game, it definitely did have that charm, like I was saying, and the gameplay and the controls were just so smooth, and it was kind of reminiscent of an arcade wrestling game. Performing moves were just easy, there was nothing too drastic. There was a light grapple and a hard grapple, which were light moves and heavy moves. and also performing finishers were just easy. You just got a strong grapple, flicked the stick in any direction, and then boom, that was it. It's easily one of the most enjoyable wrestling games that have ever came in. But that's it, that's my N64 collection so far. 31 games, 242 in total. We're almost there, we'll get there. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.